Okay. Well, we have variegated thistle here, and we have this other thing which is sort of like charlock, but it's not. I can't actually identify what it is exactly. But you know, it gets a bit high around the driveway and that, and there's an easy way of dealing with it, and it's in my uncle's old car. And the condenser, which is your air conditioner bit in front of the radiator, it's like a little radiator thing for, it's technical, but it's basically for the air conditioner. That is in front of the radiator. Now that is completely full of grass seeds from being, you know, used to move around firewood and do what I'm about to do. And I'm going to show you what I do with this vehicle. It saves me playing around with a slasher. Now this is how out of control things are getting around my house. I mean, it's above the IBC there by far. So this saves me a bit of time, or my father a bit of time with the tractor, by sort of getting a bit of a handle on it by doing what I'm about to do when I get out of this little dip with a rock here. And you've got to estimate where the gate post is, and then you're alright. And you do that a number of times, and before you know it, you've flattened it. Now, you got to know that there's nothing in the grass. Yeah, and I gave something a slam last night. It was a old bit of a workhorse thing which was rusted to buggery, and I hit it with a bumper that just bang and just bent it. But luckily I'd seen it. I stopped in time. But it's a good reason not to have stuff in the grass before it grows, so that you can then come along and flatten it. I'll go back over this same bit. A bit of a second run here to help snap it properly. But yeah, I was doing that in the middle of the night, and there's a few bits of thistle here I might as well flatten as well. That's no big deal, that's pretty narrow. I'll give it another spin around. Oh, grass doesn't seem to work really very well. I'll go a little bit of a deeper scoop in here this time. It's a bit hard, the wheels are spinning now, and we're just about out. There we go. So, bit of fun and games, but one of the biggest troubles I find, it is so fun to do for a start, as you could imagine, but one of the troubles I find is sometimes your wheels start spinning on the thistles because they're so wet, and because when you crush them they're wet straight away again. You just sort of, you just spin, you know, and it's just sliding. You can put the foot down and you can see the speedo go right up to 60 miles an hour, and then there's just steam pouring out the back, which is not very good. But sometimes you actually literally get bogged because your wheels are spinning so much because the grass is so moist. But yeah, I mean, this is a real quick blooming, not complicated hillbilly method that you can do with old vehicles that are half stuffed anyway, to try and, you know, flatten the weeds and save yourself quite a bit of diesel with only 10 minutes of petrol instead.